Hi, on the Woodpecker today. I'm making two carts, just like the one I did several years ago. I still have one corner of my shop that looks like a big mess. I'm pretty fed up with it. I need to do something. I'll begin by building another pair of pivoting carts. So I'll have a place for all those tools lying all over the place. So I'll make two carts just like those two. I bet you remember that on one of them I have a drum sander on one side and a thickness planer on the other. And on the other one, I have a slot mortiser and a panther rotor. But this time, I have to buy wood to make my new ones. The first thing I want to do is the pivoting parts with its finger joints and rails in the center. I begin by cutting smaller pieces out of the wood I have. Next, I surface three sides. Then I can cut all the pieces for the frame of the spinning parts. Now that I have all 8 pieces, I need to do like I did for my prototype and cut finger joints. Okay, I have both frames assembled with finger joints. But before doing anything else, I have to drill the center pivot. I begin by marking the center on 4 pieces, punch a divot, and drill them. Now I need to drill the mortises for the extra supports. But on those carts, the supports won't be as thick as for my prototype. So I don't need to make double mortises. But I still will make one. And the first thing to do is to adjust the slot mortiser and cut the mortises. Then I can cut the wood for the support themselves. Next, I make the tenons with the panther rotor. After checking that everything fits, I glue both pivoting frames on both carts. Then I leave those two alone and start to work on the exterior frames of the carts. Just like for the pivoting frame, I need to prepare my wood. When I have enough, I cut them to size. The joints on both prototypes are a combination of tenons mortises. This time around, I intend to use brittle joints instead. To do them, I get the tenoning jig and cut all the cheeks of all the tenons. When I'm done, I readjust the jig to cut the mortises. When it's adjusted, I can cut the mortises, starting with both interior cheeks, and then remove the rest by nibbling the wood in between. When I'm done, I clean the bottom of the mortises with a skew chisel. I finish the joints by cutting all the shoulders of the tenons. After checking that all this was not done for nothing, I mark all pivot points and drill them. The last thing to do on those frames is to glue them. I put 4 long clamps on each corner and 1 small clamp over each joint. When I'm done, I put it aside for the night before removing the glue squeeze out and the machining marks with a sander. Now I need to start on the rails, which hold both side frames together. Just like before, I need to prepare the necessary wood. Okay, I have all the pieces, and I want to join them just like that. This is the perfect job for my new doweling jig. But I have one small problem. My biggest bushings are 3/8. So I'll take a spare head and drill all the necessary holes to make a 1/2 inch head. After pounding all inserts, I need to drill them 1/2 inch. Now I have everything I need to make the joints. I just need to mark where I want them and drill them. This is what the joints look like with 5 dowels. Now I need to do the same thing for the rest of the rails. When I'm done, I dry assemble everything to see if I will be pleased. I have to do the same thing for the second one. Now I need to take care of the bottom supports. After cutting one end straight, I measure the final length with the cart itself and cut them. Then I put them in place. Mark their centers and drill a dowel's holes. Now I can try the last dry assembly. When I'm satisfied with both carts, I disassemble them and sand where it's needed. I also chamfer all the dowels. And finally, I can start to glue both carts together. It's quite long, with all those dowels to glue. I put the pivoting top on before putting 2 clamps. This way, I'm sure it's not crooked, and use 2 clamps for the bottom. One done. One more to go. The next morning, the glue is dry, and I can glue small blocks, so I'll be able to screw the casters to something. I also glue more blocks inside the pivoting frames to hold the plywood top. When the glue is dry, I sand the glue that's squeezed out and the pencil marks. Now I can cut 4 plywood squares for the pivoting top. After making sure they fit, I sand them. Next, the sharp corners are hand-sanded just before cleaning everything for the first coat of varnish. When the varnish is dry, I lightly sand it and spray a second coat. When the varnish is dry, I can proceed to the final assembly. Next, I mark the placement of the casters and install them. Then I can screw 1 plywood top. The other side. And it's not over yet. I have a second card to do. My old prototype had a pin lock like this one. I can do like I did for my shelf. But to keep a uniform look, I'll use wooden balls. I need to drill a hole directly in the center of them. To do this, I drill a slightly smaller hole in a piece of scrap. Then I switch bit, hold the ball on top of the big hole, and drill it. This way, all the holes are in the center of the balls. After cutting some dowels, I glue them inside the balls. Now I need to drill a locking pin hole. On both sides. Then I swivel the top, and using my first hole as a guide, I drill another hole into the top. To help me insert the pins, I chamfer the holes. And finally, I can put my tools on my new carts. I play with them until I'm pleased with their position, being careful not to interfere with the frame. Now I can mark the placement of the holding screws. Drill some pilot holes. And fix all the tools to the carts. Yes, I'm glad everything worked as planned, but I have a small problem. I have nothing to put under both tables. I need to fix that someday. But for now, I'll put them beside my old ones, just in front of the shop. I hope I've inspired you to build your own pivoting carts, and see you real soon for my next episode of the Woodpecker.